Yo, what up, good people? Welcome to another episode of the 710 of Slickville Show. I am your host, Jay Brown, a.k.a. Mr. 710, and we out here in these streets one more time. I am joined by my co-host, Erica Tiffany, in these streets.
Absolutely.
How you doing today?
Feeling good, feeling great.
Good. Sway, if y'all wondering, she just couldn't make it today, but she'll be all right. She had some close encounters in these rainy Atlanta streets, and if anybody is from here or have driven in Atlanta, you know how adventurous that can be in these streets when any drops of rain fall, let alone the slightly torrential downpour has been today. But it's all good. I do want to thank everybody for tuning in, and if you haven't done it already, go ahead and share this feed. This show is the X-Files. And so we ain't out here trying to bash no exes or anything like that. I know I put some stuff up on Instagram today, and I hadn't shared all the responses, but some of those responses have been pretty rough out here in these streets. And so we gonna get to this. It's definitely gonna be interesting. But you know this is an interactive show, so like, share, comment, call in 470-251-4343. Like I said, the good comments, we reading them. We're reading comments, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's on Facebook. We're reading the good ones. We also gonna talk about since last week real quick. You wanna go ahead on that? You told me you learned some stuff since last week.
Yeah, I've been following this football and trying to transition into learning. Because, look, now that I'm in a real relationship, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to have to embrace this football because there's a lot going on right now. Mm-hmm. So I've been trying to follow what the whole fantasy football thing is, the wins, the losses, why you guys had to look at your phone 18,722 times a day.
It's only on Sundays, really.
Jeez.
Some Mondays.
All the updates and Twitter
Thursdays.
feeds and all the updates you have to get so you know who to play and get mad. I'm trying to feed on that. And then just kind of knowing who's who and what's what. So it's been kind of exciting.
Oh, well, that's dope. I mean, you need those. You need that. Because you want him to know who all the characters are on The Walking Dead. Like, you don't want him to come in and be like, hey, so what's a Rick?
Yes.
And why is Daryl always dirty? Like, you don't want him to have to ask those questions because, I mean, little do you know, your answer will be Daryl's been dirty ever since we've ever seen him. Like, he's never had a clean moment. When you see Daryl, you can follow Daryl on Instagram, and he's still gonna look dirty.
That's right.
It won't matter what situation.
No, just when you're in a relationship, you want to know that you can talk about similar things and you can be relatable. So I find that instead of letting Sunday go by and we just not talk, the best way for me to be involved is to know a little bit about what's going on in football. So went and saw Venom. Rest in peace to Stan Lee.
Hey, how was that? How was Venom?
Venom was amazing. I thought it was a really good job. I enjoyed it. To do a film about the bad guy and you kind of like the bad guy, I think they did a pretty good job.
Okay, yeah. I saw that today. I was like, dang, he I'm not even gonna make that joke. Anyway, R.I.P. Stan Lee. He out here, Thanos representing. It's too soon for all that.
It's too soon.
Thanos still working.
It still hurts.
But yeah, so we out here. Since last week, I realized that cleaning up 6-year-olds is rough out here in these streets. Yeah, my man.
Been tough?
I'm not. Well, cleaning up kids in general is rough. Like the whole putting the kid in the bath and doing all that stuff. I be tired, man.
It's rough. I mean, when you make an instant family and you all of a sudden have 2 children in your house and you didn't before, it's an adjustment. Yeah,
that look, when I talked to my dad a lot about it, and he was like, it's different. It's definitely different because you didn't get the practice coming up. You didn't get a chance to build a routine with them coming up. And so when you turn around and you have you have a whole family that's a 4 and a 6-year-old, and you out here having to do all these things, and they don't do the kids that I got they don't use all the same products that we use. And so I can't just throw them in the tub and throw them in the shower and say, hey, get out. Like, I can, but I can't.
Right.
You know, I got to blow dry them. Like
they require special attention.
I can't just be like, hey, good job. Put some water on it, you good. Like, they need real shampoo.
Crazy in the chat already on the comments.
Oh, yeah, I ain't even seen nothing just yet, but it's coming. It's coming. Oh, so they ready for these?
They ready.
They ready for this
X-Files.
So, yeah, let's just hop on into this X-Files. And let me tell you guys, if you hadn't shared this feed, go ahead and share this feed. Share the feed. So, look, what made me think about the X-Files was I was talking to I came home, and my wife was like, man, my ex just passed. And I was like, oh, word? And to me, I was just like, well, you know, we've been married 3 years, dated for 5, known each other for 6. So it's been 10, almost past a little bit of 10 years or something like that. So I was thinking to myself, like, I was cool about it, but at the same time, I didn't know how much I should care. I didn't know how much I should be, like, if I should be sad about this situation.
Mm-hmm. Was she upset, visually upset?
I could tell that it bothered her, but I was still in my mind, like, I don't know how sad I want her to be in this situation. I mean, not on no jealousy type stuff, but it's just like, yo, it's been 10 years since you dated this boy. And so, and it's probably longer than that, but still.
Minimum 10 years.
Minimum. If we met and he had just broke up with him.
10 years.
10 years. And I'm like, well, then I got thinking like, well, would I be sad if one of my exes from college passed, or how sad would I be?
Well, first, if you just put in the category as friend, like, you're going to be sad if your friend dies, like a friend, right? So if you take an ex or someone you were in a relationship with, someone you loved, you got to consider that even just a friend. I mean, I guess I'm sad Stan Lee died. Like, you know, I'm like, dang, he died. So let alone somebody you were intimate with and had a relationship with.
But it's a difference, because at some point, like, if it was your friend, y'all still friends.
Possibly.
But if it's somebody you're not friends with.
But somebody I went to high school with that I'm not friends with now, but I find out they died, it's emotional for me.
You're like, ah.
I'm like, oh my God, not such and such. Like, that was the guy back in high school. We might not have talked in 15, 20 years. But, like, it's still going to have a part of me, because I'm like, man, I'm just thinking about the memories, what we shared together. I didn't get a chance to say goodbye. How's their family? You know what I mean?
Yeah, as somebody that's not yet married.
I am married. What do you mean?
Look, hold on.
Yeah.
Ding. So she, I guess she told her best friend first, Sharice, and she was just like, yeah, are you going to tell Jason?
Ooh.
Because, I mean, it could go bad.
It could go bad.
It could go bad. I'm not that type of dude where I let that type of stuff bother me, but it could go bad. I could be like, so what you telling me for? Like, I don't care that this dude done passed. Like, oh, all right, well, one less dude. Like, he should have already been dead to you. We done moved on. You done moved on. Why is this even a conversation? But I mean, I ain't like that. I ain't no jerk. I wasn't a jerk about it, but at the same time, I was like, so is she about to tell me she about to go to the funeral or something? Cause,
that's tough, the funeral. And that's why I guess the topic is how much is okay.
Yeah, how much, like, really?
Elizabeth Ann Spiota, which is a good friend of mine, she's a widow. And she has a lot of experience with just kind of that feeling of being on the other side and being married and the grieving period. And she says relationships are complicated and our past belongs to us, so any emotion is okay. Okay. The question, Elizabeth, then, like, if it was an ex, it was different obviously being husband, but if it was an ex, would you go to the funeral to an ex? And if you were already married, would you take your husband or significant other with you to the funeral?
Right. Also, do you know if she got remarried?
She has not yet gotten remarried.
Okay. Again, the reason why I asked that is because, hey, if somebody can get Dino in the chat room for me right quick. Dino's first wife passed. while they were married, and he still commemorates that day, and he puts nice stuff out there, but he's also remarried, and,
right?
I don't know, like some of the stuff I've heard people say, wow, like wow, I mean, isn't he married? That's something to say. That's quite a comment to put, knowing that you are remarried. Like, if you're talking about how much, like, you still in love with this person and this and that. Like, I understand.
Right.
Because hadn't happened to her, then, that whole situation might not have even taken place with the new.
True. I have a friend like that. She's in the Air Force. Her fiance was in the military, and he lost his life, actually, on the battlefield. And every year she got remarried. Obviously she moved on, but every year she puts a picture up on his birthday and on the anniversary of his death and says, "To my love," and, rest in peace. And from what I see on Facebook and social media, her husband has no problem with it. I think she still has his dog tags. So I guess it's a balance between allowing your mate to grieve in a way that's comfortable for them and trying to be accepting of it, even if you don't completely understand it. I have a coworker whose wife passed away from cancer 3 or 4 months ago, and he's already in a new relationship, and it's got people feeling some type of way.
Right.
Like,
what's he supposed to do?
Like, but he's happy. He's like, listen, people are telling me I need to learn to be alone. And he said, that's not what's going to help me right now. I don't want to be alone. I want someone to fill this space. I was married for a long time. I have kids. So having a woman around and being there, it fills that space for me. And I don't know why people feel like they have to tell me that I should be okay taking time by myself.
Right.
And 4 months is too soon.
He needed a rebound.
Well, I mean, he can be in love with her. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But okay, so with that all being said, I talked to a few of the ladies at work, and of course, hold on, cause Prophetess, I'm about to get to that. Of course, had the guy not been somewhere where it would have been highly inappropriate for her to try to get there, like dudes in another country.
Sure,
so
but if he was here,
going to the funeral would be completely inappropriate, and I was just like, no, you're not spending that type of bread to go to the funeral.
Right.
But do you feel like it's a certain period of time that you all have dated? Like, all right, we got 10 years in, they only had 2 or 3.
Okay.
And so with that being said, I'm like, hey, so I know y'all might have met the family and this and that. Of course, that's possible, but is that enough to be like, hey, I'm gonna go to this funeral to pay my respects? Or can you just call the sister, or call the mom and be like, hey, sorry to hear about your son, or hit him on Facebook?
I don't know. I think there is a part of you that just wants to pay your respect. I mean, see people and really give yourself closure. I think someone said it earlier.
Closure?
Not closure to the relationship, but closure.
Boom.
Closure to that thought of that friendship and that relationship and that tie. I mean, to me, your past is still a part of who you are, the relationships that you've built. I mean, who you are right now is a sum total of the people who, for good or for better and for worse, were part of your life. And so when you lose somebody like that, it can be tough. It can just kind of make you kind of have a reality check. Like, wow, this is crazy. Life is short. This guy was 35 years old and passed away. And going to the funeral and paying your respects and saying hi to the family can give you a way to kind of just grieve and get past it. And if you don't allow yourself that, you could be holding on to this emotion.
Well, I feel like if somebody was holding on to that emotion, I'm going to be that guy for a second. I feel like if somebody was holding on to that emotion, or if that emotion was present, then it might not have already been fully closed at that point. I understand being in a relationship with somebody, but it's a reason why it stops. And when it stops, typically that level of emotional feeling, it should be stopped as well.
Well, let me ask you this. Okay, so for example, I have children with a guy that I'm not married to. If my kid's dad passed away, would you feel more comfortable in that situation because I have a child with this guy? Would you feel like, okay?
That's the spirit
That's
right
a sign. That's the ghost.
Yes, because it is a kid. Because it is a kid involved, that's a different level of connection. But if it's just, somebody you talk to that you don't have that lifelong connection to, then that does make a difference. Like, would you? I likened it to, would you invite any of your exes to your wedding? Right, your kid's father, because your kids might be in the wedding, or it's that connection. It's cool, but just random dudes, chicks be like, yeah, nah, we ain't having that. Ladies be like, nah, you ain't having your ex come to the wedding. You think she gonna get up here during forever for if anybody have anything to say, go ahead and speak your piece now. Wifey took that completely out. That does not exist in our wedding.
Okay, I want to give you one.
Okay, go ahead.
This is Ned, everybody. Okay, so
what's up, Ned?
My uncle passed. We actually knew that he was dying. So in the latter days of his life, his wife called his ex-wife to say, come see him. And she was serious, like, come see him. Mm-hmm. She came, they sat, he had an opportunity to talk to her and everything else. They were married for maybe 15 years, and his current wife, they had been married maybe 12 or something like that.
Wow.
Now, granted, no biological kids with anybody, but both of them have adopted kids with each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He raised all these kids, but it just, to my family, it was like, okay, that needed to happen because they had that connection once, and they've always seen each other, but so that's another swing on it. Like I had respect for her for even doing that. Like, come see him.
Okay, I mean, but she asked for that.
Right.
That's
a whole nother right.
Yeah, this is unsolicited. Let me see. Sarita in the Instagram chat says people grieve in different ways. If someone dies tragically, that would never heal. You attend the funeral for comfort and peace. Even after you've married somebody else and they've been gone for a couple years, I was just wondering. Dino, can you speak to your conversation with Michelle in regards to Lena, if you don't mind, buddy? If you can just call in 470-251-4343. You know the number.
Prophetess, my auntie, says no one should trip. It's a funeral and not a date. I mean, the guy is dead.
That's what I was going to ask you about.
There's no emotion to the dead guy, right? Like, you're not about to go in the casket and like cry tears on him. But again,
sure? Okay, I'm just asking.
You're paying your respect as a sentiment to the family, to what you guys had, and for real, the new girlfriend or wife might be there.
All right, so I'm about to be that guy one more time, just real quick. So, what usually happens at funerals? So when you go to a funeral, you celebrating a life. They ask you not to really, be sad about him being or passing, but you go to celebrate the life. Mm-hmm. In celebrating the life, you remember the good times that you all had.
Oh God.
Oh God, you know where this is going. So, what good times are we celebrating? What good times are we remembering?
It doesn't have to be physical. It can be how someone this person loved me and made me feel good in a way, or made me feel special or important. Now, this guy wasn't abusive, and this guy wasn't like. Why did y'all break up? Did you break up because he had an affair and cheated on you, or did you guys break up because you went your separate ways and you were young and immature? And at the end of the day, again, I look at my exes like they're friends.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 710 to Slickville. What up, Dino?
What up? What up, Slick? What up, E?
You see, you just not
What's
gonna speak back.
up? Sorry about that.
So, repeat the question, man. I kind of caught on at the tail end of it. So what's the whole topic?
All right, so it's the X-Files, man. If you can just speak to this real quick. So Naya's ex boyfriend, not husband, boyfriend, passed recently, and I was in. She brought it to me and just let me know about it. Not that she was boohooing and crying or anything like that, but when when she brought it to me, I didn't know how I was supposed to feel and how sad that I was supposed to be, or how sad that I wanted to, I guess,
Be comfortable with
her being like, hey, if you out here boo-hooing, then I'm looking at you like,
how sad are you?
Why are you just still this sad? And so,
okay, well, here's a question. I mean, how long were they together? Was it like a fling?
Couple years.
Couple years. She can, have a sad face for maybe a day or so, but that's pretty much it.
Can she go to the funeral?
Why would she go to the funeral?
Oh my God!
But why though?
To pay respect.
No, I'm seriously
as a
asking
friend.
because,
Like, I mean, do you have exes that you're still friends with?
No.
Not one ex that you're a friend with, that you're cool with. I'm not saying you gotta talk every day.
Nah.
Are you married?
I am married.
Yeah, you're married.
Okay, well.
It's
a different situation, I guess, if you're not friends with any of your exes. You don't talk to any of your
exes. I left a lot of exes, and I didn't leave on bad terms, but I went on with my life, and they went on with their life, and I remarried, and so that's my life. My wife is my life now. I mean, if somebody passed, I'll, tell you I'm praying for your family on Facebook or something, but that's in the past. It was different for me because I lost my wife to breast cancer. So I was informing people afterwards, when I was trying to get back into the dating process, that, look, I'm not looking to replace her. I'm not looking to get married again. I'm not looking for any of that. I'm still grieving. I'm still in the process, and this isn't going to end overnight. It's not going to end in a few months. This is something I continue to grieve even now. It's been almost 9 years now. So that was my wife. We had promised each other forever. So in doing so, I would inform people. With Michelle, my wife now, I told her, look, the only reason I'm available, the only reason I'm in the game now is because she's no longer here. Had she been here, this wouldn't have even been an option.
Right. So
you have to respect that. Now, I'm not going to disrespect you in it, but, there's days where she still find me in a corner depressed or shedding a tear because it's her birthday or an anniversary or something that came up, or I saw a picture or read something. But, that's losing someone close to you. That's no different than, losing a parent. This is somebody who you shared your life with, you created life with, and who was kind of a founding principle in your life, who made you who you are. So that's different than saying, a girlfriend or a boyfriend that you were hot with for a minute. You can, send your due regards, your respect, but, that wasn't life altering. That wasn't life changing. Just because you shaved all your hair off and you're talking about Black Power woman, that's still, it's something more. There was a existence there. It wasn't just a connection. It was the foundation to something.
Hey, Dino, real quick, how does Michelle take when she finds you in those moments, or when those moments occur during like anniversaries and birthdays and stuff like that?
You know what? She kind of lets me be. She can understand, because unfortunately she lost her father and her mother, and it was through my grieving and the things that I went through in order to make it to the next day, I was able to help her. And she understands that you could be doing nothing and a memory comes into your head, and all of a sudden, you're shot, your day is gone. So she understands that better now, unfortunately, having lost her parents.
Right.
So to lose someone that close to you, it gave her a better understanding. But she was always, like I said, I was always up front with her, and she always knew that. So she never had an issue with it. And it's probably ultimately why I ended up with her, because she understood that I was grieving. She understood that the way things went down, and I was a single father with a 3-year-old and a newborn. So she understood all this, and I made it clear. I always laid my cards on the table. I wasn't trying to hide anything, or
right.
So it was a different when you're completely upfront and honest. If someone doesn't let you grieve, then they're just, excuse my language, an asshole. You don't need that in your life. You need somebody who are willing to let you grieve. They don't have to be able to understand you, but they need to be able to comprehend, and they can empathize with you, but they don't have to sympathize with me if they're not on that level.
Right. Well, we really appreciate your transparency and your openness and willingness to share. Can I ask the question, is that do you think there's a too soon amount of time to start seeing someone else?
You know what? I went through that, and honestly, I think for a man it's a little bit different than it is for a woman. Usually a woman, they tend to, they're so deep into their emotions and their connections and their feelings that it takes them a while to even come out of the depression that they're in. For a man, it's one or two things happen. I can't lie. I booked a trip to Hawaii, and I started to walk into the ocean, and I wasn't planning on coming back. So it was my kids and leaving them alone, which made me turn around. So men tend to do way more extreme, but women tend to take way more time. So you really feel like your life is over, your life is ended. Somebody that you promised forever to, they're gone, and you feel like they left you. So for a woman, they can internalize it a lot more and kind of slowly deal with the process. For a man, you just want the pain to stop. So, and getting past or not past it, but getting something new in your life and trying to progress daily, it helps more. I can't say it doesn't help with a female, because I'm pretty sure it helps, but it helps you more. So, and then when you have small children, as a man, you still need help with that. So it's a different perspective. You can't put a time limit on. I know people who, God forbid, but couples that have been together way longer than me and my wife were, they passed several months after their husband or their wife passed, because they can't live without them.
Yeah, 6 months. But yeah, hey Dino, man, we appreciate the call, man.
Absolutely.
We definitely appreciate the insight.
No problem,
Thank you
man.
for sharing.
Dope, man. Appreciate you, brother.
All right, man. Yeah, I'll stay up.
Oh, for sure. Hey, and look, guys, if you hadn't shared this feed, all the people on your timeline just missed a dope phone call. So go ahead and share this feed if you hadn't already done it. Appreciate y'all so much. If you have any other comments, go ahead and call in 470-251-4343. What's up?
He had a unique perspective. I think he had both sides. On one hand, he's like, give this person time to grieve. I needed it. Years later, he's remarried, and he's still finding himself on anniversaries and birthdays upset and emotional. Yeah. Yet at the same time, he was like, absolutely not. You're not going to the funeral, So it's kind of a catch-22, because I feel like it's duplicitous in a situation, because you're like, you want someone to give you the understanding to give yourself the emotions. And yeah, husband and ex, boyfriend, girlfriend could be different.
No, it is.
It is, but it isn't. Some people never get married. So that doesn't disqualify their relationship because they didn't have a certification and marriage license. I don't think that necessarily negates how much or how deep someone affected you or that you love them, but that we cut our ties and had different reasons for breaking up. It could have been financial. It could have been long distance. And we decided to go our separate ways, but it doesn't mean I don't still love and care about you enough to want to pay my respects to you.
When I tell you this, once you make that I do, for a lot of people, it gets deeper.
Yeah, he said a lot about forsaking everybody else. Like, it's about my wife now. There's no exes. There's nobody else.
Right. It is. And my goal in this is like, hey, I'm going to respect my wife. And so whenever it comes to doing anything that will compromise that, then I make the decision on the respect side of the game, more so than something that, hey.
But loving her through that, isn't that part of it? Like loving her through her emotions, even if she doesn't understand them and you don't understand them.
But I'll tell you this. When I pose this scenario to the people I work with, and I pose
mostly women,
and I posed it as if my ex passed.
Ooh.
And I was going to the wedding. I was going to the funeral. And it was
tough.
a girl that I dated back in the day. Just for a
They
couple
look different
years.
on it.
They look different. It was totally different. They was like, why the hell would you want to go? Why would you want to go to this funeral? Would you still trying to see her one more time? What is this?
That's back to our double standard show.
And so, I mean, I look at it, and when it is posed as, my wife as the one that's going, everybody's like, yeah, she should go. You should understand. You should, and it's cool. But when you flip it,
it's very interesting.
and
Jason wants to go to his ex's funeral.
You feel different about it because you're like, what? Because.
But then we talked about the fact what we say is that women having a different emotional attachment versus men. I think for the most part, men aren't necessarily thinking about their exes in that way, like emotional. It might be.
I just want to go pay my respects. Yeah, I just want to go see the family one more time. We was cool. Yeah, when I used to go over to our house. Like dudes can't. I mean, some women are understanding in that way.
Sure.
But I mean, if it's not presented correctly, if it's not somebody that she knew about.
Oh, you definitely got to. If you didn't know about this person, how close to you were they?
Like,
to me, I should know about your ex.
It's not gonna go. And so, all I knew is I was like, hey, she dated a little African dude before me. That's all I knew.
Okay.
That's all I cared to know. I mean, and I didn't even care to know that. It's just something that came up.
Out. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I dated an African dude. I didn't know his name, but this is what it was. Hey, bro, duplicitous. You cannot play that in Scrabble. It's far too many letters, and she's cheating. But at the same time, we wouldn't be able. I mean, we wouldn't be able to explain that because they would be like, yo, hey. Yeah, you can call, you can hit them up on Facebook. She should have already been dead to you the moment that you said I do, or the moment we started dating. You see all the time. It's a whole lot of situations in which women and a lot of dudes don't want you talking to your exes if there's no kids involved. Why are you still communicating with them if y'all no longer together? They don't want you to talk to nobody you slept with.
Some people take it as an opportunity to get, like, an emotional comforting. So, like, people come to you and be like, hey, Jason, you heard about your ex? And then you get all this attention all of a sudden because, your ex passed away and now people are coming to your page. You got old pictures of y'all together and,
Don't post that. You ain't about to get me locked up. do not untag.
Like, hey, man, that was you and old girl. Y'all was cool.
Yeah.
But I do think that the men and women thing did make me look at it differently. Like, I think looking at Naya as my friend, I'm very sympathetic to her because I'm like, I can understand. It's emotional. If she wants to go to the funeral, let her go. But if she was calling me, telling me that you wanted to go to the funeral, I'm like, so who's this chick again?
So we all going. Did you know her? did y'all meet before?
I'm going to the funeral too.
Yeah, like, we gonna ride out. We gonna tip this damn casket over. You wanna? No, that's not what it is. But it all but I knew that's what the scenario was gonna be. It's a whole lot of things where if it's the man doing it, it seems a whole lot worse than if it's a woman doing it.
Is it okay to like make a sad face on a post on Facebook and put a comment?
No, I mean, if she was like, they still were friends on Facebook.
Yeah.
And if she was just like, yo, they started they passed, and you drop the little sad face on there, and was like, yo, R.I.P. whatever, praying for your family. Okay, but sad face. Remember the great times we had, heart and all that. No,
I'll put it like this: if his new girlfriend or his current relationship would be iffy about your comment, it's probably something you should have posted.
Yeah, I agree.
If somebody would look at it sideways, like, well, who is this on this feed? Mm-hmm. Because I'll put it like this: if in my current relationship, if something happened in my current relationship, I would be looking crazy if somebody was on there. Or even if somebody showed up. I don't even know how I feel if his ex-girlfriend showed up at the funeral. Like, who is this?
Who is this?
Who invited you?
Yeah. And so, we was talking, so I'm going to transition off of funerals because it got a little.
It's a little depressing.
Got a little depressing, but at weddings, is there an ex that can go can come to your wedding?
This brings to mind that scene in the Ray movie with Jamie Foxx.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was.
All the folks showed up. What's up?
Yeah, that was crazy.
All the folks. Let me see. Well, she was serious with her ex. Could it be you weren't if your chicks prior to marriage was? I can't read the rest of that one.
If your chicks prior to marriage meant absolutely nothing to you, then you wouldn't understand. It's saying she said she was serious with her ex, but if the chicks that you were with prior to your marriage, you weren't really serious with them, then you wouldn't feel those type of emotions. But if she was serious with this guy, maybe that's why she feels the need to want to grieve or have those moments.
I still look at it like it's a time frame that, hey, if you
He's saying it was 10 years ago.
Yeah,
so how close can y'all really still be?
Yeah, if it's 10 years ago, and whether y'all had the worst breakup or y'all just decided to go y'all other ways because y'all were better off not together, but as friends or whatever, however you want to say it. Once still, those people that's better off as friends, once you get into get into another relationship, and then you get into marriage, I still feel like this is somebody that you slept with.
I'm still trying to figure out how to draw the line as a newlywed. You know, when you still have exes or even people that you were friends with and cool with, or even dudes that are not exes that you talk to. You know, I had guys who were like, "Oh, I heard you're married now, so I guess I shouldn't text you after like 6 o'clock, right?" Mm-hmm. And that's all new because you're like, I guess that's right. We shouldn't talk after certain. Is there new rules now with your exes, and we shouldn't talk at all because we're married now? So.
I mean, why though? Like, if it's
For
like,
example,
hey, happy birthday.
No, like let's say I was dating somebody in my industry, and we talk about car stuff all the time. So we talk about deals, we talk about, you know, whatever. And so we've just remained friends. Things didn't work out. We're just friends now. We talk about that stuff. All right, now we only talk maybe once or twice a week, random. Mm-hmm. Man, I made this crazy deal, blah blah blah. Nothing else. Now I'm married, so now it's like. That phone call comes in, and not that my ex didn't. My current relationship doesn't know about the guy, but should it stop? Should there be an adjustment made?
Like it's still gonna be a level of respect. Like, yo, we can't have like, if I put it to you like this, like if it's somebody, especially if it's somebody that you done slept with, it's still gonna look different. Like, hey, Vince say they shouldn't text you at all. On top, I mean, it's just one of those things. Like, he should be respectful of your relationship.
And there's something. Hey, maybe I shouldn't text you at this point. Like, I don't want to be disrespectful. And so, I don't want to be that guy.
With that, if you put the shoe on the other foot, and you sitting there and your guy's having a conversation, and he over there laughing, talking about, yeah, I scored 45 points last night, girl. You be looking like.
Who you talking to?
What girl you telling scored 45 points? Let me just hang this up for you.
I don't know.
Who is this nigga? Like, and so you look when you look at it, it's like to avoid those situations. You know, any of my exes, the conversation that we have are happy birthdays and congratulations on new jobs and whatnot.
That's it.
Like. If it's anything more than that, they're commenting on something that I posted that has nothing to do with me. Everything is public. Ain't no sliding into that DM or nothing like that. Ain't nobody calling. Ain't nobody texting. My phone stays unlocked so she can see everything. What is Emma got out here? My third grade buddy. Oh, she said we don't need nobody at the wedding breaking out. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, because
disrespect.
Let me ask you this. If you got invited to an ex's wedding.
I got invited to an ex's wedding.
Did you go?
Now that I'm married, would I go? I mean, first of all, I feel like this. Anything I'm invited to, my husband's invited to. So that's the first question. Because is it we going or no one's going? I can't just be invited to something. I don't care if it's a birthday party, a wedding, anything. To me, the invitation should be dual. And whether it's my kid's dad saying, hey, look, I'm throwing a little party. If he's like, you can come, but your husband can't, we ain't coming. To me, it's simple as that. So that's question number one. Were we both invited? And are you, whoever this ex is, are we all close and cool enough where you're like, hey, you and your husband, I would love for you guys to come. Now, that's a whole nother situation if that actually exists. where there's still a friendship and relationship there. But there are people who have those type of relationships with their exes, where they would come to each other's funerals or baby showers or whatever else.
I cannot, like, for me, I cannot think of a scenario of an ex that I would go to any of their events like that, solo or with my wife.
Yeah, I can't think of any.
And not that I think that anything bad would happen, it would just be
awkward.
It would. Like, I just...
Funerals, weddings, baby showers, those are just... Birthday parties?
No. Hey, I already sent you a
text?
happy birthday on Facebook. On your wall so everybody can see it. My wife can see it, everything. So, yeah. No.
No exes are allowed at the wedding, as Brandon Smith said.
Yeah, you know, I mean, only reason, like, what did he say? You had your chance. Oh, wow. Twanda said my ex wants me to be his child's godmother. Called him a jerk off and totally disrespectful, which I agree that it would be. Hell no. Like, if I was like, hey, who is this? And I was like to find out that you used to smash this dude and we done made him the godfather of our son, of our kids.
No.
Hey, I'm upside your head. Like, what are you doing? What is this shit?
Aviva says exes should go to funerals out of respect, but not necessary to the wedding. I think women feel differently. Aviva, would you be okay with your husband? Would you be okay with your husband wanting to go to his ex's funeral?
Yeah, I mean, and how long have they been married?
She's been married a while.
And so just and the thing is, for some reason, to me, after I got married, all those other relationships that I had, they seemed so small.
Trivial.
It seemed so small. Not that I didn't care about the woman that I was with. It just all seemed so small. Like, I mean, I didn't invite nobody to our dating situation.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't that. I was like, hey.
If someone has a hard time letting go of an ex, should that be a warning sign? Like, if they're like, I want to hold on to this person's been cool with me, I don't feel like there's a reason why we shouldn't be friends anymore, is that like a warning sign?
It could be. It definitely could be. Like, some people that don't want to stop talking to an ex is for a reason. It's definitely for a reason. It has to be for a reason. Like, it's not like, oh, they're just such an awesome person that we just couldn't make it together. Pass. 100%. I mean, if it's respectful, if he slept with someone, then what?
If he slept with someone, they don't need to be at my wedding.
But
I'd be fine with him at her funeral if it's respectful. But if he slept with someone, they don't need to be at my wedding.
Why is there respect? What are you talking about? Like, I mean, you going to check out one more time.
He ain't checking her out in the casket. Stop.
I still
He ain't
never
checking it
remember. I still never remember those days, girl. You a little stiff now, but you straight. You straight back in the day. What?
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If your ex's kid died,
Is it my kid?
not your kid, but you're cool with, like, she's sad, she's hurt, you were close to her, her kid died, you knew the kid. No, he don't care.
I ain't going.
He ain't going.
I ain't going. And only reason why I say that is, hey, do. I'm sorry for your loss. I couldn't imagine what it is to lose a kid.
So you're just like, this is it. No exes. It's done. X. When you were the ex, it is X.
Yeah, it was. And the thing about it was like, I just try to keep myself out of situations. I just try to keep myself out of situations. Hell, there are times when I feel like it could be like you don't want to be the right pillow at the wrong time.
Ooh.
And so
I bail that.
like you just don't.
Those situations can turn crazy.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you're confiding. I mean, that happens a lot. I think even like with work relationships. I mean, you got, someone that you confide in at work, and y'all start talking, y'all get cool. Me and my dude, he did me like this, and this guy is comforting you in your time of emotion.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, y'all go out to lunch. You can find yourself in a very precarious situation.
Yeah.
Scrabble word.
No, but yeah, like that's. I mean, and those type of things happen, and I know that they be like the flesh is weak, like stuff happens because it's just one of those situations where you emotional, they emotional. You don't want to be a jerk, but at the same time, they just right there. Y'all shared something back in the day, and so y'all shared those moments. So it's still a level of comfort that you still
Is
share
that with all
person.
women though? Like, let's say it's not an ex, it's a coworker who's sad and just needs to talk to you and lean on you.
But you hadn't been there. Like, I still feel like had you hadn't been there with that person, you had never looked at that person in that way. It's still something that could be like, hey, no, we ain't there. But it's still with somebody that you done been with. That's still a level of comfort that's been you didn't cross that threshold,
Right.
and say, hey, I done seen you naked, or at least with a t-shirt on. If they was on the big side and they was kind of self-conscious. Shout out to those folks. That's how emotional cheating begins. Exactly what I'm talking about. So
Renee is defending herself.
She said, "Stop talking about funerals. I wasn't planning on going. It's in another country, so yeah." Was you gonna go if it was in Atlanta though? Girl. Anyway, so as far as like, social media, we'll go social media. We got 8 minutes left on social media. Are you friends with your? And I'm not talking about the kids.
Yeah, I still have some,
Other exes.
and he still has some too.
You fine with that?
Right now, we are. I mean, when we first announced our engagement and wedding and baby and all that, you had the comments, you had the DM messages like, "Oh, so you're married?
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations! When did this happen?" So I think that it took a little minute to kind of. I think you can weed out the good and the bad, right? Like women who.
I see you and your little wife.
Yeah, you and your little wife or your little wedding.
Yeah.
Congratulations on your little baby.
I see you and your little baby and your little wedding. Am I gonna get an invite to your little wedding?
Oh, that's one. When am I gonna get an invite? Don't forget to send me an invitation. And the people who are really genuinely happy for you, and one of the people who are condescending. And I think that's when you have to kind of filter through. Is this going to be a problem? And we're in denial. And I think you're in denial when you try to allow someone to be in your space that isn't good for you. And you just want the ego stroke. Mm-hmm. You want the ego stroke because she cute, she fly, you've been scrolling through her gram. She always got the cute pictures. You get to be like, yeah, that was a chick I used to kick it with. And every time she get in your DM or she like one of your pictures, you be like, she's still liking my stuff. But the truth of the matter is why do you need it? Why do you need that type of attention?
Hey, y'all need that type of attention. What you talking about? We don't need that. We don't need that type of attention.
Yes,
I have
y'all
no
do.
idea what you're speaking of at all.
Y'all go screenshot it and send it to your homeboys like, yeah, man, she's still liking my pictures.
Hey, I'm just. Julian said, y'all little relationship cute though.
Oh,
I see you with your little relationship. With
your little wifey.
Your little pregnancy picture. I see.
I see you.
I see you.
That's straight shade.
With your little bump.
That's straight shade. That's a solar eclipse.
Somebody said this weekend, I try to make sure we catch your little radio show one of these days.
Your little radio show.
And I was like, excuse me? You about to get cussed out. You about to get a little cussed out. Hey, so as far as exes go, because we always get these narratives, whose fault is it usually?
What do you mean?
It's usually women's fault, right?
When what?
When people break up.
Negative, ghostwriter. Negative.
I mean, I guess it depends on who you ask, right?
I think it's mostly men's fault.
What would you say?
Women get in relationships knowing that they want to make it work. Men get in relationships out of obligation. Like, all right, if I don't get in this relationship, what am I going to miss out? The sex? Like, well, you're not going to come see me. Like, there's something.
Dudes ain't got to get in no relationships to get no draws.
Oh, please. You have to give some level of commitment that we see in each other.
Hey, for real? We just caused the scene to happen. We just caused the chemistry to happen. Now, the reason why I asked that is because when I posted that thing on Instagram, and I asked this girl put on there that he was manipulative and that he was a narcissist and all this bad stuff, and I was like, my only response was, you ain't see no red flags? Like 0 red flags. If all of these things were wrong,
we want to love you guys through your problems.
you know what? That's so sweet. But you want to know what happens in those type of situations while y'all loving through y'all problems? Dudes are trying to love y'all through y'all imperfections as well, but they just
You have a shorter fuse.
well they
Your
look
candle
at it,
wick is smaller.
they look at it and they be like, oh, I know she a little crazy and she told me she busted windows and windshields and stabbed people tires and whatnot, but she got a fat ass though, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit it a few times and see what that be like. And then all of a sudden they end up in a relationship with this girl who busts tires and bust windows and whatnot and be cussing folks out and can't see. Mailman said, always the woman's fault.
That side chick wasn't for you.
Yeah, see. Men's action are faulty most of the time. Women leave because they're over behavioral issues. So y'all pretty much saying it's never the woman's fault.
It's not that it's never the woman's fault. I just feel like women are more forgiving. And
What's the percentage?
I think it's 75% the man's fault, 25% the woman's fault.
That's when you know you're wrong. Hey, so look, chat room, what is the percentage? Go ahead and put the percentage on who's typically at fault when it's a breakup. Because usually it's the woman that tells the story, which is why it seems like it's 75%. And
First of all, 75% because the woman's the one getting rid of y'all. We're the one breaking up with y'all.
Oh, well, the dude had already cheated, so he was just shooting this shot early before the breakup. Oh, Kobe!
Here's the thing. If you guys really ready to get out of the relationship, like how many women have you broke up with? Like, listen, I'm done. Like, I'm not. Before they break up with you, not like after.
No. Because you probably asking the wrong person that. Because my breakup game was strong. Like I usually see stuff ahead of time, and I'm like, hey, this ain't gonna work.
See, I've never been broke. Like, it's always been me saying I'm done with the relationship. Like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I've given you a chance. I've tried. We tried to make it work. I'm done. I haven't been on the receiving end of like, Erica, you're a great person, but you're crazy, and I'm just done.
What, anybody ever said it to you?
Never. Never said that.
Well, hey, Erica, you're a cool person. You might be a little crazy. No, well,
look, so it's at 50-50.
50-50.
80-20, 70% women, 30% men. I'm with Brandon.
That they the reason.
No.
She put a heart on there and everything.
No, not that.
What Aviva said, you can be a serial killer if a man loves you for real. He isn't going anywhere. Yeah, she got fat ass though. Like that's what they be looking at. They be like, yo, she killed 3 people, but yo,
even
that head 5.
Men get tired of that too. They say for every man that is looking at a woman, there's another man that's tired of her. So even I don't care how fat the butt is, how fine she is, if her attitude is bad, she's nasty. You're gonna get tired of that too. That how long does that last? It's gonna last you 35 years in a relationship?
What? No. But y'all don't say it. Ain't no saying like that about dudes.
Well, the equivalent to what women ain't just staying no dude because the anaconda strong. That is not why we stay in relationships. We can get that without a relationship.
That's what I just said.
That's not the same.
I just said that.
That's not the same.
Look, how many
we get with you guys for the security. We get with men because we want the commitment, the loyalty, the trust, the honesty. That's why we're with you, not because of the sex.
How many times have you met one of your friends been with a dude that she just can't leave, and it ain't because he got a whole lot of money, or it ain't because he the best dude in the world. It's because he's dropping that wood off. I
don't know. I think it's because he's manipulating her mentally, and she's emotionally connected, and she's afraid of loss, and she's afraid of being by herself.
So it ain't got nothing to do with wood.
It ain't. I don't think it has that much to do with. We ain't sitting there going, but girl, oh my gosh,
He broke my back off.
No, that's not how it goes. I got one or two friends that's the situation, and
Look,
normally
look,
they're
look,
not.
look, there it
They're
go.
not in a relationship with the guy. That's the guy that they just kicking it with on the side, and they keep going back to kick it with him, even though they know, like, I'm not going to be able to get in a serious relationship as long as I got this side guy that I keep dealing with. Like, he's tying up too much of my time, but the sex is good, so I'm gonna keep up with him. But not because it's a relationship. It's a kick it guy.
Why can't she get rid of the kicker guy though?
Because the sex is good.
Hey! Hold on. What I'm talking about? Shout out to everybody up in there. Hold on. What? This one was on
Cynthia
my...
says, my ex left and got married 1 month later. Wow. I think he was with her the entire time.
Be out here telling people that you done got played, shawty. Let me, on that note, listen, I appreciate manipulate.
Oh, Tawanda.
Yeah, there we go. See. Hey, look, on that note, y'all, see, now it done got late and y'all out here wilding in these streets. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Guys, if you hadn't shared this, did she say added a boner? Y'all crazy. I can't even close the show right. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. We'll be back next Monday at 9 p.m. It'll be what's the day? It'll be the 19th. Couple days before Thanksgiving. We're gonna teach everybody how to stay in shape before Thanksgiving. We're gonna have Deliqua Isom on the show, fitness trainer, motivational speaker, and everything like that. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We'll be back with another great show. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. If you have not subscribed to the 710 of Slickville Show YouTube channel, go ahead and do that. Tiffany, Erica, you got anything you want to plug real quick?
No, everything else is good. Just make sure you like the page, like us on Instagram.
And,
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thank you for watching. And pray for me with these kids, though. These some new kids. They different. They different.
Please pray for the Brown family during these foster parenting times.
But until next time, y'all be safe out in these streets. No.